This is Slam Pigs Podcast.
Slam Pigs, Union Smack, Episode 4, right back here one more time, another week. Thank you guys so much. The views keep piling up on social media and YouTube. We have nothing but love for you guys for all the tremendous feedback you've given us, but it is not another episode of Union Smack without the Maniac Matt Tennant. What is going on, man? How was your week? You had a little vacay, a getaway this week. I'm glad you're back in the fold. You were missed. And where can everyone check you out on Twitter, all that good stuff? What do you do?
Pleasure to be here again, Travis, and you can check me out on Twitter at TennantFutureDW, and it's good to be back.
Good to have you. And yeah, real quick, this is just not the week with technical issues, so first little segment here is a little streamlined. This is take 2 once again, but hey, it's worth it. Let's do it thing, Matt. Another week, no UK show to talk about. But before we get to that, how silly of me, check me out on Twitter at TMD. But yeah, I'm not even going to mention it again because I'm already sick of saying the line. I'm sick of editing and hearing me open up every show with bitching about new UK show. But to compensate for, just having to review SummerSlam 92, which is what we're talking about this week, Matt, lots of husband this week as far as the rumors, though, about WrestleMania possibly coming to London.
Yes, and can I just say, it's probably about time, because we haven't had a proper, huge, big WWE pay-per-view for 25 years now. And, I know there's the whole thing about the time difference and all that, but, 25 years is one night. Surely people can forgive us that.
Yeah.
And like I said to you on the on the take 1 of this segment, that it would only be 3 o'clock where you are, possibly lunchtime for the rest of America, and on a Sunday. So I don't see anyone missing much. So I think business-wise, I think it would be really, really good. For the UK Championship, because I'm assuming that we'll have a show in a year or two's time, but you can never know right now where WWE are going.
If it happened, could you see them headlining it? Would they have to? They would paint themselves in the corner, but they have to headline it with like a UK title match with Pete Dunne and somebody.
I don't know. I mean, going off of SummerSlam 92, where you had the Bulldog in the main event just because he was British, I'm not sure. SummerSlam isn't WrestleMania, and obviously we're in a different era. Would there be a call for Pete Dunne and, I don't know, Tyler Bate in the main event of the biggest show of the year? Do you think?
No.
No. Where's your answer?
Now,
I think Vince would.
He'd
put him on mid-card, but not.
I personally don't think it's going to happen. I'd like to see it. I'm not saying that. I think there's a better chance, of seeing this happen than the women headline WrestleMania, because we're going through the whole spiel again. Shout out to the ladies. They're having the first ever ladder match tomorrow night. But this always happens when they have a first. Everyone's like, well, next stop is the women main event in WrestleMania. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Not the way they've treated their women's division.
No, I agree with that.
But at least they're on TV, not like the UK guys right now. But
yeah, it's got to happen soon, though, Travis. Surely, we're coming up to July, and the initial tournament started in January.
Right.
To be honest, I'm getting bored of waiting for it. I don't know how you feel over in America waiting for this big hype that's not happening. But even I'm getting bored of waiting for it, and I really don't think they're showcasing the UK Championship enough.
No, they're treating it like a TV title on the NXT right now.
They are, and I'll tell you what, I caught on Twitter the other day, Pete Dunne on, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday, this past week gone, was allowed to take the WWE UK Championship to a British lucha show and show it off there.
Oh.
And what you doing with it? I know you want to get it in the spotlight and get as many people tuning in when it finally does come around as possible, but
well, right now, let's be quite honest, it's simply a prop. It's a prop to Pete Dunne is totally loving it because it's getting him over on the Indies. I'm sure his booking rates are going through the roof. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what it leads to. Hopefully, I'd like to think we're good. If not, if it doesn't come, I would just like to think, and hopefully next week for episode 5, we don't have to talk about this again. But I would like to see him implement talent from the tournament into NXT or something. Well, if we don't get a show.
Yeah, me too. You could have Pete Dunne there every week. Do an open challenge like John Cena did with the US title. And just have a different challenger each week.
Yeah.
Just anything. Just do something to give us hope that this show's coming soon.
Well,
because
our episode this week for episode 4, SummerSlam 92 review, was one of those shows that did just that. The main event was completely different from anything they'd pretty much done in the late 80s or 90s at the time. It was headlined with the Intercontinental title match. That's what I got to say, my God, when we do these, Capital Carnage, I had to go look back and watch it. One Night Only, the same thing. I've seen One Night Only a couple times, but this, though, the blueprint of SummerSlam 92 is ingrained in my head, so I just did a quick little breeze through it. A few things I don't remember, but I pretty much got this on lockdown as far as in the memory bank stored. I still have the VHS. I'm looking over my shoulder. It's like SummerSlam 92, Survivor Series 92 in the same VHS, taped off pay-per-view. So it's one of my all-time favorite nostalgic pay-per-views. Matt, I'm sure this was your WrestleMania 3 over there growing up.
It was. It was the soundtrack to my childhood. It was on that often.
I bet. Now, a lot of people don't know that on WWE's main Harbinger show back then, Primetime Wrestling, there were a lot of matches for dark matches that were filmed but weren't shown on the taped pay-per-view. It was aired live for us in America, taped. Did you guys get it live over there when it happened?
We didn't. We didn't get it live. And in fact, the first I remember seeing, at least seeing the first 2 dark matches, because the third one, Tatanka versus the Berserker, weirdly went on in the semi-main event spot.
Yeah, they Pulp Fictioned up the card. They took out stuff and put it on primetime. It was out of order, right?
Yeah, so we got Tatanka versus the Berserker as
weird.
Part of the SummerSlam card.
You poor bastards, I'm sorry for that gift that you got.
Honestly, I thought that was a good match, but we'll get into that later. But Jim Duggan and the Bushwhackers against the Mountie and the Nasty Boys, and Papa Shango versus Tito Santana. I don't remember seeing them until
primetime.
God, years later. At least until the DVD came out over here, and they were included on that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they aired them on Primetime Wrestling. There was really, to the Papa Shango El Matador match, nothing to it at all. I mean, what can you say about that match?
It was just there to get the crowd going.
This was the time with Jim Duggan where he was cool in the Jets. Unfortunately for Jim, in mid '92, it was just before, I believe, he got diagnosed with cancer, which he did overcome. He beat cancer, but he went down for a lot of '93, and then he just signed with WCW after his contract went up. But this Jim Duggan had spent all these pay-per-views he was tagging with I don't want to say jobber, but guys that aren't on that level that he used to be on. The match with the Mountie and the Nasty Boys versus Jim Duggan and who was the team?
Bushwhackers.
Oh my God, there it is. The Bushwhackers. I'm sure I did not go out of my way to watch that match. Can you blame me? But I'm sure it's exactly how it sounds.
It was. It went 12 minutes 33 seconds, which was 7 minutes too long, and it belonged on Primetime Wrestling. That's the best way you can describe it, I think.
Yeah. Who were the victors in that match? Out of curiosity.
Jim Duggan and the Bushwhackers, and to my memory, Duggan pinned the Mountie with that crappy little, was it a 4-point stance thing?
3-point stance.
3-point stance. There you go.
Because
And
he
the same
only
with
used 3 points of his anatomy, his arm and his
you see?
Yep.
See? There you go. And the same with Papa Shango and El Matador. It was 6 minutes of there.
Were there any other dark matches like that?
You see, Tatanka versus Berserker
Yes. Yeah, that one.
you could say was a dark match, sorry. But we got it live over here, so I'm counting it as part of the SummerSlam card.
Oh, very nice. Well, I guess without further ado, I love how this pay-per-view kicks off. They show clips of little girls in warrior face paint, and they're showing the fans. They're showing one says the title match for this pay-per-view, which was not the main event, was Ultimate Warrior against Macho Man Randy Savage. And it was funny. I never understood. Like, one girl in warrior face was like, "I want Macho Man Randy Savage to win." Then why are you wearing warrior face paint? Never made sense to me.
I'm glad you brought that opening up, Travis, because for years and years and years, there was you probably saw it when you watched it back.
The British Bulldog's gonna win, whether he wants to or no.
And can I just say to people listening that me and Travis did not discuss this before we came on air?
None of it.
The British Bulldog's gonna win, whether he wants to or no.
So that is like a little psychic. But it's a little psychic freak out, because that is the bit that annoyed me the most.
You know why it annoyed
stayed
me?
with me the longest.
You know why that kid annoys me? That little blonde-haired shit. Because of his haircut. It's like they cut his hair right at his eyes, and like the length is all like the rest of his face. I'll put a picture up of that little fucker right now. Little Bulldog Mark. Fucking.
And if you're listening to this, congratulations. You've now made it.
Yeah. Yeah, but he also kicked off with trumpets. The Beef Eaters, but they were Beef Eaters. I got it right that time, right?
Yes, you did. Well done.
Playing the trumpets, bringing it all in. That was what they used for pyro. Beef Eaters opening a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it looked like they'd spent so much money on the setting and the staging and the arena that they didn't have anything left for fireworks.
Well, this was from Wembley Stadium, one of the largest stadiums in the world. It was very noticeable, even back then for me. I was like 8 years old. As build-up and as WrestleMania 3 looked so big on TV, this looked way bigger because, factually, they lied about the attendance of WrestleMania 3. SummerSlam 92 legit will go down as like the third or fourth most attended show they've ever done. And it shows.
80 plus thousand.
Holy shit, this crowd was insane. Just the spectacle of this was amazing. You know what I mean? It still holds up.
Yeah. 80,000. It's like, apart from WrestleMania, you'd never get that at SummerSlam these days.
And I'm always a sucker for outdoor shows too, with like the sun still up and it sets. They always get me with that kind of stuff.
Gives it like a special feeling, doesn't it? Like
I didn't like it at WrestleMania 31 a couple years back when it was like daylight the whole fucking show until the very end. But besides that,
see, I don't care whether it's like sunshine all the way through. It's just a really nice special feeling, because we get too many indoor events. Like every fucking WWE event's indoors apart
especially
from
then.
WrestleMania. Yeah, exactly. I can't remember before this the last proper outdoor show. I'm sure there was one.
There was the big event in like '86. It was like
the big event
in Canada,
God.
And there was It was in Paris. It was like a Paris show. That was outdoor, right?
I can't remember that.
It had a really awesome entrance it was like '89. Had like lasers and all kinds of shit. I mean, it was like a big deal over there. It was a Paris show. I have to check that out on YouTube. Matt, the show kicked off with, in my opinion, a match that it makes its way onto tons of compilations. One of the most glorified matches WWE has overhyped, because this match, yes, the ovation for the entrance of the LOD as they take on Money Inc. is awesome. One of the loudest pops you'll ever hear. The LOD was so over in London at this time, and I'm having visions of crowd members again. That guy dressed up as Hawk in the crowd. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
His spikes were so big on his cosplay. It was ridiculous. But LOD and Money Inc., the days of Rocco. Matt, get right into where was LOD at this stage of the game?
I think it's hard to tell, because for me they'd passed their best as the Road Warriors in NWA. And when they came to WWF, it seemed as more of a, you know what I mean, a cartoony version of what they once were.
Yeah.
You know, the word I'm looking for is victory lap. You know, that they've been going for so long that by 1992 they were sort of on the victory lap of their career.
Yep. Exactly. Well, this match literally was the end of them as a team for years.
Yeah.
Very last.
And
fight.
it's not hard to see why, but at the same time, I quite enjoyed this match. I thought it was compact in most parts. What do you think?
It's not a great. Obviously, both these teams. I think Money Inc. has had better matches with Steiner's, and the Road Warriors resume speaks for themselves. But it was a good match to open a pay per view up in '92. That doesn't mean it was like this amazing, great match that needs to be on a million compilations. Put it on Road Warriors DVD. Put them maybe on a Teddy DiBiase compilation. Give it its day in the sun. But I think they really over glorify this match. Crazy facts about this match, though, because like. You know, they came down on the motorcycles, right? I'm sure you heard the story about Road Warrior Animal, like his legs sticking to the exhaust, he burned it, and his tights stuck to his skin for this whole match.
I did hear that.
So he worked this whole match with like a 1st or 2nd degree burn. So shout out to Animal with his roid belly getting it done. But it was a for LOD it was a good match. You know what I mean?
It was a good match, and it wasn't just LOD coming to the end like for years. It was also Ted DiBiase coming to the end of his in-ring career, I believe. He only had
he actually had another year left. His last match was.
I was just going to say he had another year left.
Yeah, against Razor Ramon. But that
and he went to Japan for a while after SummerSlam '93, I believe.
I did not know that.
I'm 98% sure that he went to Japan for like 2 months to compete in a tag team tournament over there for All Japan Pro Wrestling, and then he retired.
You know, that sounds about right, because DiBiase's last match in WWF was in August '93. I can't remember DiBiase coming back to like the Rumble '94 to commentate, so that makes sense.
Oh, we're a good team, missing. Travis.
But yeah, you know, good Road Warriors match. Now, talk about the LOD's last match for years. Of course, they had their falling out backstage. Hawk decided to join the Hells Angels, the London chapter of the Hells Angels, and went off and did things that Hawk did at the time, which was beat the shit out of people with lines of cocaine. Holy shit. I mean, that was such a... Looking back, Animal was right. It was a stupid, boneheaded move because all it did was cost them money. I didn't mean to pluralize that. Hawk would later reform LOD in Japan with, like, Kensuke Sasaki? Was that his partner? Yeah.
I believe that's right, yep.
And it wasn't the fucking same. It didn't even get over in Japan. Hawk was then a single star for a while. He even appeared in ECW until the team got back together in WCW in, like, '96. And I think they squandered what could have been some of their hottest years with this bullshit with Hawk's little temper tantrum. You know, I know he's dead in all respect, but in hindsight, 2020, it's business, man. It was dumb and it hurt your team. And Animals come out and said, you affect both of us. So, you know.
That's right. That's 4 years. Imagine the money they could have made sticking together in the 4 years.
Yeah.
Ish they were apart. It makes no sense to.
And even when they came back, they debuted. They came back and they debuted as Nitro as a team like nothing happened. In blue, by the way, for some reason. Remember that?
Yes.
Like
yes,
no word. Oh, they're blue now. But anyway, when they came over in the Attitude Era, yeah, they were doing really well. But let's be honest. When they took that break after '92, it was never the same. And every time when they came back in the later '90s, they came off as passe and an old gimmick.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. They came off as well past their time.
And maybe they could have spent those missing years working, coming up with something to reinvent themselves. Instead, it was rushed, and LOD 2000 was garbage, as you heard last week. Thankfully, no LOD 2000 talk this week. I'm putting a stop to it now. But, you know, I'm going to get fired up enough because this is my part of the show where it's so bad it's good. It's so fucking bad it's good. Virgil, my man, getting a shout out on this goddamn show finally. Our beloved Virgil with the backstage promo with Sean Mooney. I think there was another promo in this. Possibly.
Ric Flair was before that.
Oh, okay, go ahead with the Flair because I'm so excited about Virgil. I can't contain.
What's to say about the Ric Flair promo? It was one of them that was taped. I believe it was taped weeks before they even left America to come here. It was a good promo. Ric Flair's always been a good talker. It didn't add much. I like the little tease at the end where Mean Gene Oakland asked him where Mr. Perfect would be and in whose corner, and he just went to answer and then just pulled himself back every time.
Yeah.
That was good, but...
We'll get to this later, much more, but real quick on that, what a fucking waste of Ric Flair on this show, by the way.
Agreed.
Holy shit.
Why was he not booked? I mean,
I don't know.
I assumed he was injured.
If anything, you would think they would have made it whose corner is Mr. It was Mr. Perfect, right? So
it was Mr. Perfect, yeah.
Flair couldn't have a match with anyone? Like, Christ,
Exactly.
Boss Man wasn't available for a match in 92?
To my knowledge, he wasn't injured at all. So...
He wasn't. He was just fucking there. He came out. We'll get to that later. But the Ric Flair promo, yes, I did forget about that. Let's get to the good stuff now. Virgil. Well, you got a clip of his match leading with Nails, who we'll get a little backstory on if you guys don't know who Nails is. I don't know why most of you would know who Nails is, but
exactly.
Nails. They showed a vignette of Nails was a former convict. This is where the Boss Man was. God, I'm so stupid. The Boss Man was out. It's storyline wise because he got the shit beat out of him by a man in an orange jumpsuit, straight out of Orange is the New Black, except he's a man. Nails, who was a shitty wrestler. He was I will say shit. Though, I'll give one positive compliment to Nails. Two. Facially, two. Can you believe it?
I've never heard somebody say I'll give 2 compliments to Nails before.
Right. Well, brace yourself.
I'm braced to go.
Facially, he looks like a fucking monster. Like, he could be in a horror movie as the killer. You know what I mean?
Yep, can't disagree with that one.
And here comes the kicker. His voice. This is number 2. His voice is one of the scariest voices I've ever heard in my life. I don't know. Did they alter his voice?
I think they did. I think they put a... I don't know what you call it. But you know what I mean? They put something over it to make it sound...
Like when someone's hiding because of FBI protection, they do a sit-down interview with Barbara Walters, they use that voice. That's the voice they gave him. Even though Barbara Walters is long gone and dead, apologies. I think Barbara Walters is dead. I don't know. Nails is not dead. His career has been dead for years. This match was booked, and it made sense at the time because Nails was your new monster. Virgil, honestly, was a perfect guy to squash. That's what he did.
Yeah, agreed.
Backstage promo with Virgil and Sean Mooney after showing what Nails did to Boss Man. Virgil was hyped, man. You got to give it to him. He's throwing air punches in there, and he ended out his promo, with "I'm too legit to quit," referencing MC Hammer, which in '92 was
that was. And do you know what? Little fact for everyone listening, I only learned what that little hand gesture was today from Travis, who sent me a little gif. That is how out of touch with pop culture I have been.
And that was not actually the best part of this promo. I don't remember this happening like a lot ever. For some reason, mid-promo, Virgil's looking into one camera and he goes, "You got to want it, man!" And then he looks at another camera and like changes angles like mid. It's fucking weird, but that doesn't take away from it being awesome. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Nails, I see what you've been doing to my friend Boss Man. Let me ask you this: you got to want it, man. It's fucking weird, but it's worth a watch.
It's so bad, it's good.
That led to the match. Nails in the ring, slapping his nightstick in his hand like somebody owes him money, and Virgil comes out to a nice little British pop.
Yeah.
The match was shit. The match was
dog shit. The match was awful. Neither man looked like they knew what they were doing, but I mean, it was nice for Virgil that he got that pop. The rest of the night didn't go the way he wanted. The match was a mess. But, yeah, good for Virgil. That's all I can say about it. Like, good for Virgil. What's it come to, Travis, when the best you can say about a match is good for Virgil?
And the other guy looks like a killer from the horror movie as a compliment.
Yeah, exactly. Nails is what Jason would look like if you took his mask off.
Yes, perfect. Make the jumpsuit like brown or black, and it's Jason without his mask.
Yep, that's the perfect way to sum him up.
This led to another terrible match at Survivor Series 92, blowing off the feud finally with Boss Man and Nails. That was not supposed to be the end of Nails' career. Everyone knows the backstage, the legendary stories, which I don't know. It's alleged. Did he choke out Vince McMahon backstage? Is that what happened?
That is what I heard over a pay dispute. That he just walked into Vince McMahon's office and an argument ensued, and he ended up choking him nearly unconscious and had to be escorted by police out of the building.
Not to be outdone, he did have a match with The Undertaker, like an MSG show, right?
He did. That was meant to be a big feud.
With the Warrior,
Believe it or not, Nails versus The Undertaker was meant to be like a really big end of 1992 feud, but he fucked it. It possibly the biggest chance of his life, and he pissed it up the wall for nothing. And then The Undertaker went on to Papa Shango and then Giant Gonzalez.
God, Nails was disgusting looking. I can't even look at him without wanting to throw up. He was so gross. Can't help it. Sorry,
It was his in-ring work made me sicker than
it made
the
me
way he
sicker
looked.
than the spirits. That's
He
very
looked
accurate.
so phony. Like everything he did, it was just. It reminded me of a drunk man just stumbling around the ring, just throwing his arms anywhere and hoping they connected with someone.
He then went on to Ride into the Sunset from WCW, as his greatest claim to fame was at I believe Slamboree '93, a Legends reunion against Sting of all people.
Yes.
Stinger got a shot against Nails, so there you go.
Poor Sting.
Thank God we don't fucking have to review that. Holy shit. Although I love that
Jesus.
WCW pay-per-view, by the way. Someday maybe we'll touch Slamboree '93. I don't know. I'm feeling dangerous. This did lead then, Matt, if I'm correct, because I'm going off a mental format, and I think I'm doing a hell of a job with my memory. Sherry Backstage promo.
Yes.
Yeah,
well
look
done.
at that.
I am
Boom.
impressed. I am impressed.
Oh, Sherry. That ass, that ass. That's all I can say about Sherry on this show is holy shit. Put the kids to bed and don't let them look at your television.
And she was seemingly dressed like she'd just been to a Transylvanian ball.
Oof.
And she sounded like she'd had a few beforehand.
Right. I don't remember this being risque in my household. Like, you would think in '92, I was 8, and, like, my parents watched all these pay-per-views with me, like, every one of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember them ever making me, like, avert my eyes or leave the room. I don't remember this ever being controversial. It would seem like it should have caused a lot more controversy in '92 than it did with her butt cheeks all over God's creation in this match.
Yeah.
No,
her outfit wasn't exactly PG, but then I don't think did anyone apart from Vince McMahon and Bobby Heenan on commentary really care about it, like the way she looked. I know they made a lot of it.
Well, the crowd did. Like later, we'll get to that later. There are lots of whistles and stuff for Sherry in this.
Yeah, typically British whistles.
And the match was just not Sherry's butt cheeks, guys. There was a match. It was This show had a lot of different things on it. Heel versus heel on a WWF pay-per-view at the time.
Mm-hmm.
The model, Pretty in Pink, Rick Martel, against a young '92 Sherry strutting Shawn Michaels at his side. I do remember, speaking of memories real quick, my dad at the time, I remember being a kid and asking him who he wanted to win because it was so weird for me to watch two bad guys, right, go at it. And
Yeah.
this is one of those times I always talking to my dad was like, I don't give a damn, they're both sissies. So I don't know. My dad could care less about this match, I'll say that, but what is thing? And what was the stipulation? Weird story going behind this.
Exactly, that's what I was going to get to. Like, two really good talents, and you'd think on a pay-per-view that's had, what, one really shitty match and one okay match so far, you would have thought Vince McMahon had gone, two really strong talents in the ring, put them out there for 15 minutes, no stipulation, nothing, and just let them work. But no,
don't hit him in the face!
Yeah, cannot hit each other in the face match. Let's just call it that. And that was it. They couldn't punch. They couldn't slap. I mean, I have fond memories of this as a kid, like Sherry collapsing on the apron as they go to punch each other at the end.
So bad. So bad it's good, though.
It was so bad it was good. But like going back and rewatching this, just for the hell of it, like you don't need a reason to go back and watch something this good. But Bobby Heenan's Heenan's line at the beginning of the match when Sherry came out, the worst case of moths I've ever seen in my life. That was possibly the best part of this.
Did he say something like "moons over Miami" or something like that?
Yes, he did.
But we didn't even mention Bobby Heenan on commentary. Vincent Man, Bobby Heenan with his fucking crown like Lawler in this was great. He's proclaims himself the King of England on the show.
I love Bobby Heenan.
God bless Bobby Heenan.
Could Bobby Heenan be the best manager in wrestling history?
Oh yes, my opinion, the most quick-witted. Paul Heyman is 1B, but Bobby Heenan's 1A. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jim
I
Cornette's
can't
also going
agree.
to be in the
I
conversation.
can't agree. I mean, I can't disagree. Sorry. Loved Bobby Heenan.
But yeah, the actual match, there was really nothing to it. First of all,
No.
the model has had quite a few get-ups over the years, but this one may have taken the cake. Aunt Tennis, anyone? As Vincent Man liked to say on commentary here. Straight out of Wimbledon. Man, God. I'm not even going to describe it. Guys, look at what Rick Martel, you see the picture right now. There it is. Like, knee pads, his socks, and holy shit. I feel like I've said holy shit already 8 times. We're in like the 3rd match, but it's 92. Match was really nothing to it. Good psychology. I do like matches like this sometimes. It's like the guys have to think outside the box. Like Bill Watts' philosophy, even though it was kind of asinine, was like, throw him over the top rope. It's DQ. Go to the top rope. It makes heels have to cheat. Where it makes sometimes that's true, Bill Watts, but in this case, didn't really work out that way. This match, it's worth watching for the so bad it's good acting from Sherry and just it's classic in a way because the cheese, but pretty shit match.
And the end's good. If anyone wants to go back and review this, where each of them are taking it in turns to carry her up the aisle, and then the other one knocks her on her ass.
Yeah,
that's entertaining. But the 7, 8-ish minutes in between.
It just came off like complete filler, and these guys phoned it in. Like,
yeah, they did. They could have
Shawn
done
Michaels'
really
first ever singles
that.
push, the biggest crowd you've ever been in from. I'm gonna phone it in.
Like it's SummerSlam, Sean. For Christ's sake, it's not just a normal UK house show. Do something. But no, we didn't get that. In fact, we had to wait, did we not, for a few weeks until he beat the British Bulldog for the Intercontinental title for him to really.
That was till like October. They did that.
So that was 2 months. That was 2 months we had to wait for Shawn Michaels to really say, "I'm going to make a go of it now."
Matt with the spoilers on the main event later on the SummerSlam. No, everyone knows Davey Boy Smith, Bret Hart. It's not.
Yeah, if you don't know at least the main event result, then go and do some research. And
can
then
you imagine somebody be getting mad at you on like Twitter or something because you spoiled WrestleMania 3 main event? What the fuck,
God.
man? I was going to watch that tonight. I didn't know who won.
Jesus.
Or like the Montreal Screwjob match, like so it was like said spoilers. Oh my god.
How can you not know this stuff? Like,
I'm sure right now somebody's getting mad at a tweet sending that like you spoiled Survivor Series 97's main event for me. I did not know. You fucker.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've blocked Izzy's mum, so she can't send me any more of them tweets.
Oh, Izzy's mom. Not even worth another mention of mine. I know. Okay. I have not given you any because you haven't been on a show. If you want to give your 2 cents on it real quick. I mean,
I just don't think she's worth our time. Like,
you were in the shit there with me when it was going down.
I was. We were deep in the shit together. I think it's fair to say, and everyone else around us was just like apologising and. Let's say it as it is, Travis. They were jumping ship, and we were still going down with it. I think that's a fair analogy.
And the only reason I apologize was to plug up the holes in my ship because there's other people on board. So like you guys are affiliated with me, so what one of us does affects us all. That's the only reason I did.
Exactly.
But then I attacked her on Slam Pig, so it all worked out. Fucking. Where did that bring us to next? Let's get back to things that are way more relevant than that, lady.
Yes.
Like hopefully a Beverly Brothers match or a Crush match.
That brought us to first a really, really nasty boys interview.
Oh God, yes.
And I know I just made an odd noise, but that's the best way I could describe it. Like
I'd rather listen to you do that noise on a loop than a fucking Brian Knobs promo.
Like knobs and sags. I'm gonna do it again. You know. The false laughter made me go red with embarrassment. And I don't get embarrassed for other people often.
Oh God!
Jimmy
Hart was with him in this, right?
Yeah, he was.
And even Jimmy Hart, like every 30 seconds, he'd be like, "Yeah, oh, it was so bad. Holy shit!"
Even Jimmy Hart looked like he didn't want to get involved. It was just, bleh.
Was this the era of Jimmy Hart where he wore the motorcycle helmet for no reason?
I can't
He
remember.
was their manager and had like spray paint of a skull on it. 'Cause he's
Yes, yeah.
oh,
No,
God.
oh my God! Now you brought back the memories. Both of them were on the verge, I'd say, of a coronary. Like, if this interview had gone 3 minutes longer, they'd have had a heart attack each.
Yeah.
I'm confident of that.
They turned him babyface a couple months later. By the end of '92, they were babyface.
Bad mistake, in my opinion. I don't think they ever worked as baby faces. And
I just never cared about the Nasty. Even as a young lad, I just didn't give two shits about the Nasty Boys. I do remember being so mad when they beat the Harts for the belts. I was really upset at like 7.
yeah.
Because of all the fucking teams, like I would rather Demolition have it again than the Nasty Boys ever have it. But you know, say I love you.
And talking of the Nasty Boys, like even though you don't like them, that led into our next match, which was the Natural Disasters versus the Beverly Brothers for the WWF Tag Team Championships. Why the Beverly Brothers? I mean, I like the Beverly Brothers. They're
Why
a
the
classic
Natural
team.
Disasters as fucking champs?
I love the Natural Disasters. Don't
Well,
bash Typhoon and
It's about
Earthquake.
time we disagreed on something. Fuck,
It
never
is.
happens. I never got it. I didn't like it. I don't like it. I mean, you still had LOD in your company. They didn't know they were leaving on this show. I mean, I don't know, man. As baby faces too. The Natural Disasters is baby faces. The lovable fucking lushes, not these monster killer natural typhoons and shit. No, got to make them big teddy bears and make them appealing to kiddies because they got a belt because it's a baby face promotion. No, I didn't like it, man. Sorry.
But that worked. Like for me as a 5, nearly coming up to 6-year-old, that I loved that. Like the Natural
You know why I
Disasters.
hated it? Because in 1990, okay, I was 6. I spent most of that year hating Earthquake because he made Hulk Hogan go away and Tugboat had to bring Hulk back. So it was really hard for me as a youth to get behind Earthquake as a babyface. That would have been like me fucking having to back Sergeant Slaughter as a babyface. Oh wait, they did that! In the same year he was an Iraqi sympathizer, they made him a babyface.
Yep.
I don't want to have another hernia rupture, so go ahead, Matt.
Yeah,
Tell
don't
everyone
calm
about this
down.
fucking
Calm down. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, the Nasty Boys had already defeated Savage and the Ultimate Warrior to become the #1 contenders to the tag team titles. Yet the Beverly Brothers got the shot at SummerSlam.
Because goddamn, pal, it's the UK. Fuck them.
Yeah,
That's what it seemed like. Most of the show seemed like Vince going, fuck the UK. They don't deserve these good title matches.
It did. Even if you thought fuck the UK, like it's SummerSlam. It's your second / biggest I'll start that again. Your second / third biggest show of the year. Fuck where it's held. Put something special on, and it was okay. Let's go for okay for the time. Watching it back now, it's dated. But for 1992, it was a typical Natural Disasters match. In a time when people expected less. It went far too long.
It really did. It should have came off like they should have. I don't want to say squash, but maybe a 3 or 4 minute match with them looking dominant, like the Beverly Brothers trying all these tactics and none of them working because of the size. That's how it should have been booked. Not this back and forth competitive bullshit. God, did it seem like the Beverlys dominated most of this match too? Like they were in control? Was it just me?
It did. It seemed like it was
sense.
Weirdly they were booked to fight a team smaller than Typhoon and Earthquake.
Yeah.
It was that sort of tactics.
It was booked like they're in there with like the Rock and Roll Express, but they're fucking Earthquake and Typhoon.
Exactly.
It was weird. But yeah,
I mean, I didn't see it as a child, obviously, but looking back at it now, why weren't the Nasty Boys in that position? Like logic, follow the fucking logic through. We don't ask much as wrestling fans. Just a tiny bit of logic now and again.
Just wanted to make sense. We want shit to be consistent. That's all we were
Exactly.
You know? You can have hokiness and cheesiness in there as long as it's consistent. At the end of the day, It doesn't always get a pass, but it does more times than not. I have never reviewed a Beverly Brothers match on Slam Pigs. Here's something, because this happened way last year, early Slam Pigs days. We did like an on video thing, Michael and I, before we recorded that night, and we had a debate all fair. Like, we need to record this. I thought for years that Blake was the Beverly with no mustache. I thought that Wayne Bloom did not have a mustache. I thought that was Blake. But I was wrong. Bo was the babyface Beverly. Michael proved me wrong on a Slam Pigs video. And I had to eat my words.
But that was a bitter pill to swallow.
Here's one for all you old school trivia buffs. You'll appreciate this. And Matt, I hope you can keep up with how deep I'm digging. What was the worst team? The Beverly Brothers or their previous gimmick in AWA is that shitty Road Construction tag team? The Wrecking Crew.
Oh, I'll just said the Wrecking Crew by far.
Construction gimmicks are awful. Every one of them.
They are. And if my memory serves me correctly, of wrestling trivia, wasn't got to get this right, wasn't Wayne Bloom the masked skyscraper when when Dan Spivey left the skyscrapers?
That was only for like, what, 2 weeks, and then just canned the team, right? And then Mark Calloway went singles. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it was. He's not even remotely as tall as fucking Dan Spivey, by the way, but they're just like, oh, fuck it.
That's it. We need someone. We need him fast. He'll do.
I will say, if you guys love the old school references, you're definitely in the right place. Go on some history of Wayne Bloom on them this week, Matt. Holy shit. But yeah, the next match, was there a promo in between this?
Nope. My DVD went straight to Crush versus Repo Man.
Yes. Now, I was such a wrestling nerd even as a kid. I knew this was Demolition going at it for the first time.
Yeah. 2 former Demolition members, Crush and Smash.
And it didn't take fucking genius to figure out that it was Smash, because he had the same eagle tattoo on his arm you could see as Smash, the same mannerisms, everything. And as far as Crush, well, they didn't even change his fucking name. They just took the paint off, put fluorescent colors on him, and said, "You're a surfer, bro," and you're just Crush. I loved Kona Crush in '92 and '93 as a kid. I can admit that.
So
I hated the fucking Repo Man as a kid. I love him as an adult. I don't like Kona Crush now as an adult. I love him as a kid. So everything's changed. This match fucking sucked. Either way, it doesn't matter.
This was the toilet break. Like if you needed to go to the bathroom, you go through this match.
I would rather watch Beth Phoenix versus Tamina in an Iron Man match.
Jesus, that's saying something.
Than probably all first 4 of the matches we talked about. Maybe not the tag match, the very first one. But this card's been shit. It's been straight up shit as far as
up to now. It's been questionable.
Did this save it in your eyes? Because I'm going to say it didn't.
No. How could this save? How could this Crush versus the Repo Man? 2 wrestlers who didn't really mean anything to the company at that time.
Crush, you would think Crush would have, though, the way they were building him. You would have thought
You would have thought, and he was about to go into a feud with Doink.
Michaels?
Which culminated in that memorable moment at WrestleMania 9 with the 2 Doinks in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole feud with Doink and Crush scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Like, do you remember the evil Doink?
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion. The fucking horrible teeth he had, like It from the film It, like Pennywise the clown. I remember I couldn't sleep for nights after watching that.
Talk about Matt Bourne or like the other guy, who I think was Steve Kern for this WrestleMania 9 angle.
I think was Steve Kern not the second Doink that came out from under the ring at WrestleMania 9?
It looked like Snitsky based on those fucking teeth. I remember those teeth now. Shit. But this match was shitty. This match was shitty. Crush's finisher as a kid I thought was cool, but looking back, that's a pretty vicious fucking move to do to a guy. That's borderline attempted murder in my book.
The head vice, trying to crush his brain. Yeah.
Just pop his head. Like a zit. But hopefully by now, things have picked up. What is next for SummerSlam 92, Matt? Did it get better?
It did get better, and saviour of the card up to then was Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, WWF Championship match, and it was good. Like, I don't know, for what they had to work with, and for what Randy Savage had to work with, because at this time the Ultimate Warrior was notoriously stiff in the ring, and on God knows what, pill-wise. I think Randy Savage did a very good job of making the Ultimate Warrior look like a main event star.
I thought he did a better job of helping Warrior through a match in this than WrestleMania 7 and the retirement match.
Oh, you are linked with me telepathically or something. I was just going to say this was better for me than WrestleMania 7 based on the fact that they had, I think I've got it written down here somewhere, about 28 minutes to get through.
And I don't remember off the top of my head. There's a lot of like MSG and like Boston Garden shows on the network. They probably had matches when he was Macho King and he was like IC Warrior that were probably
Yeah.
better, but I just don't remember them. You know what I mean?
No, this is the one that stands out. But if you just said to me, Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Warrior, I'd have said SummerSlam 92. I know people hold WrestleMania 7 and what was meant to be Savage's retirement match in higher regard, and this probably slips under the radar. But honestly,
I have
go
to give.
back and watch it, and you'll see for what Savage had to work with, it's a really impressive job. Really impressive.
Well, I would say as far as like in-ring wise is what I was like. I think the 92 match, as far as the in-ring match was better. I would go back any day and prefer the WrestleMania 7 match to watch because I'll be completely honest with you guys. I did watch it again the whole way through for this. This is one of the matches because I didn't remember a lot. This was always one of the matches I always skipped as a kid on the VHS, like because I get that now. This is another match, in my opinion, that went on way too long. I mean, you think you could have trimmed at least 5 minutes off of it,
Yeah.
especially with the ending. It was a fucking schmoz. You know what I'm saying? Like the amount of hype. People don't remember the amount of hype this match had going into it. This was a big deal.
It had lots.
This in America and the UK, this was a big deal. I mean, WWE loved to give smodges on TV for free. A lot, hell, the majority of every 80s WWF pay-per-view undercard are schmozzes. But they always gave a clear-cut winner in the main events in their title matches, usually in this time. This was the case when they didn't. And I don't think it went over well. I think by the end of this, the fans in the crowd, and I'm sure the fans at home were pissed off and frustrated. Like, all this build-up and hype over Mr. Perfect, whose corner he's going to be in, just for none of it to fucking matter in the first place.
And then for Ric Flair to come down as well, and could you not have booked this as a triple threat match?
This was the laziest case of Pat Patterson is drunk at the booking meeting, so let's just write anything down. That's exactly what this fucking was. I don't even know if Pat was in the company because of the fucking molestation scandal. But whoever came up with the book on this was lazy. It was a cheap way out. Warrior and Savage, we can't say they phoned it in. I would even give credit to Warrior in this match. It seemed like he went above and beyond for Warrior. Like and on the other hand, Savage is one of those guys you hear in stories like he wouldn't have it any other way. Savage would have gone backstage and punched Warrior in the mouth if he would have phoned it in for a big show like this. That's just how Savage was.
Yeah.
He's such a perfectionist. You know what I mean?
I heard that about Randy Savage a lot. That he wouldn't accept anything but the best.
And this was not the match Savage wanted. This was, according to Lanny Poffo, Savage wanted this match to be against Shawn Michaels for the title at this show. Like, Savage was the biggest fucking Shawn Michaels advocate. That was one of his biggest falling outs. Like, Vince made Savage transition to the announce table. We all know that because of his age.
Yeah.
But Savage wanted his last program before that to be with Shawn Michaels, like a 2-year program, and Savage had it all written out. He had everything mapped. He booked it himself, but they didn't want it. They didn't go with it. They went with this. And then all this shit with Mr. Perfect to be a shitty heel in the end, right? What happens 2 months later, 3 months? Mr. Perfect turns fucking babyface. And we're back to one. Where the fuck are we now? We're at Savage and Perfect as a team? Holy shit. It was a clusterfuck in 92. A lot of contractual shit going on. Okay. If you just happen to put in SummerSlam 92 pay-per-view, you don't watch any Saturday, and then you just go straight to Survivor Series 92, shit changed a lot. Like, Razor's there now. Where the fuck did Razor come from? In the main event of Survivor 92, regardless. It was... Warrior obviously split the coop after this. He was done. He flew the coop, whatever.
Yeah.
For like 4 years, until his shitty 96 run.
Did you miss him though, Warrior? Let's be honest. I mean, by 92, for me, Warrior was done.
Did 8-year-old me miss Warrior? Is what you're asking?
And the answer's going to be yes, because you're 8.
The answer is actually going to be no, because another case of I was such a Hogan mark as a kid, and Warrior beat Hogan. So, like, after that, I never hated Warrior. It's like I accepted he was a babyface, I guess, in a match, but I always had this, you know what I'm saying, this underlying resentment because he beat my guy.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, I was more upset that Hulk Hogan left probably at WrestleMania 8 that year. I didn't even care about Warrior leaving. Didn't even notice it probably because this is when The Undertaker became a babyface, and all of a sudden, when that happened in this year, then Undertaker became my guy. like for
Yeah,
years.
I'd agree with that. He sort of replaced the Ultimate Warrior in that spot.
I would say for me, he replaced Hogan in a way because I was getting older. Hulk Hogan was seeming cheesier the older you got,
Yeah.
obviously. And Undertaker, he was timeless. He's always badass. He's dead, you know. We'll get to more Taker on this show. Not one of his finer moments by far. Maybe that was up next, I
No.
believe.
It was up next. It was up next. Can I just point out that this is the part possibly I found the most entertaining about the WWF Championship match. When they were standing in the ring, like staring each other down, and Warrior said to Savage, "It's about respect," and then he went and spelt respect wrong. Like, I don't know whether he was
R-E-S-P-E-E or something, yeah.
RSPCT.
Yeah. R-E-S-P-C-T.
Oh, God.
Was Warrior, in fact, in singlet mode at this stage, or do you still have the undies on for this match?
No, singlet mode.
Singlet Warrior, so that means throw it in the trash. Except for the Ultimate Maniacs tag team, which that was a couple weeks after this. They had the Ultimate Maniacs, they became a team, and then Warrior left.
Yeah.
And those promos weren't good. They were just, oh my god, that game described.
And Savage did actually get his. He didn't get it big time, but he actually got a mini feud with Shawn Michaels.
It was like
Do you
a
remember
one-off, one or two off, and nothing really came out of it. It's not the program he pandered for.
No, obviously.
Or
I think that would have been better for Shawn Michaels. Like, Jesus, can you imagine a Shawn Michaels 1992 Heartbreak Kid in the main event? I don't think if that had happened, I don't think it would have took till 1996 to get the belt around his waist.
He could have been there by 94. Maybe earlier, depending how it was booked.
I agree with that.
What did that bring us to next on the table for SummerSlam?
Oh, God. The Undertaker versus Kamala.
Oh, I was right.
But you were right. Well done. And this Travis was just another.
God. Have to review a Kamala match now for the first time. I will say the Undertaker's entrance is one of his best entrances ever for this.
Yeah, but then again, the aisle was really long. It was like WrestleMania this year. The aisle was so long. Do you think that would have been the entrance if it had been a shorter aisle? Like, I think it was just done to save him walking down the aisle.
Well, the car.
And then having to walk back up it.
Yeah, but the car also went like fucking -1 miles an hour too on this. Like, it was so
It did.
slow. That driver deserves a medal for keeping his foot that steady for that slow, that long. He really does. I'm sure he passed driving school with flying colors.
It did. The hearse took longer than Kamala to get to the ring.
It took the hearse longer than it would have taken Taker to get to the ring.
Yeah, if he'd have walked, he'd have been there much quicker.
Yeah, you could have cut 20 minutes off this show probably. Bret and Bulldog would have got more time if that fucking hearse wasn't there, pretty much.
I agree with that.
But yeah, this match, this build-up with Kamala was, ooh, they didn't know what to do with Taker, obviously, so they went with like the easiest monster heel I guess they could find until Giant Gonzalez came in a couple months later, because they carried this feud all the way to Survivor Series.
They did.
Unfortunately for all of us, it was in the first coffin match, which technically I guess is the first casket match, but that shit was hardcore with Kamala because he legit nailed nails into it. Like,
I remember that.
God. But this match, man, one of the worst matches the Undertaker has probably had on a big stage like this, by far. I would rather watch his match with King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 11 than this match.
Yep, this was this was on par with Crush and Repo Man. And for an Undertaker match, that's bad. Like, I just thought he could have made something from this, but...
Is this match going to be in your cheap plug, your new Undertaker book coming out in the future?
It is. There's quite a lot of shitty matches there for necessity rather than want, because the Kamala feud was a big feud for Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
You know, coming off of a so-so heel turn. This was one of his first big feuds for me. So, yeah, it's in there. And so is his feud with Giant Gonzalez. And
all right. Can't wait for that book. Guys, when that book drops out, you need to check it out. Matt's a huge Taker fan. That did bring us to, I believe, the part of the show where you're ready to get right and fucking fired up because you gave me a DM earlier on Twitter this week about this promo.
Actually, Travis, we've got Tatanka versus Berserker first, and then a Bulldog interview, and
See,
then
we didn't get any of those on our version, so that's why I don't have that on mine.
you didn't get any of them.
We did not get the Tatanka match on this pay-per-view. We got it on
It was good.
Primetime
It was
Wrestling.
it was credited as a dark match, but they couldn't cut it out of the live show for us because
Was the sun down or was the sun up for this match? Because I can't.
Oh no, it was dark.
Okay.
It was as dark as it was for the Taker Kamala match, so they couldn't cut it out because it was live, obviously. So we had it, and I'll tell you what, this was probably one of Tatanka's best matches. But I know he had a lot of shitty matches.
Ludwig Borga.
Ludwig Borga. Did you have to bring that up? Like,
well, you said shitty Tatanka matches. What do you want? He had
true.
great matches with Bigelow. Probably his best matches were Bam Bam.
I agree. But I think for a match just thrown together, him and the Berserker did really well. And Tatanka wins with a Samoan drop.
I've got to go out of my way to check this out now because I can't believe you're praising a Berserker match. It's happened.
I know. And Berserker was one of the shittiest workers.
Yeah, John Nord was not known for his technical expertise.
He wasn't. But this, I think where this match succeeded is it was maybe 4 minutes, so they didn't have time to do anything dull and.
Oh, that's probably a good match.
Definitely.
4 minutes.
And Tatanka's obviously. You can say what you like about Tatanka, I think, but
he's ageless. I mean, he's like timeless. He never ages. Chris Chavez was a solid worker back in the day. Still is. Still on the indies and stuff.
Exactly, and the Tatanka character was just a massive one for me as a kid. I'm going to go the extra mile, Travis, and say I'd have put the Intercontinental title on him at WrestleMania 9 just to see what he could do with it.
I would have too. He was really popular at the time.
It was so
worth a shot.
That undefeated streak as well. That was actually worth something back then.
I know we're not reviewing 9, but we keep bringing it up, so fuck it. That's another match that frustrates the shit out of me because it was so good for those two, Shawn and Tatanka, just for that shitty finish.
I know. And I love Tatanka. Like, he's coming over here in August to a Comic-Con, and I'm thinking of going just to meet him and like get a picture with him because I really do love the bloke.
Hell, man, try to get him on the show. See what happens.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Is it time for the Maniac to come out, though, at this point of the show? Well, let's skip the Bulldog promo, because we didn't get that in America, and he's in a promo anyway here, so...
Yeah, I mean, if you take his one night only promo from '97, put him in his famous, I'm going to call them dreadlocks.
The Whoopi Goldberg.
With his, the Whoopi Goldberg hair. It was a good promo, but he still looked out of it. Like, Sean Mooney had to tell him who he was facing, I think, 3 different times. Like, Sean Mooney was standing there going, "Your Intercontinental Championship match against Bret Hart. What are your thoughts on your main event match against Bret Hart?" It's like Sean Mooney's face is going, "Just please remember something we gave you to say."
It's like I picture Davey Boy panicking, and like he goes to his go-to line, like, "I'm glad I'm a bulldog," and like he walks off.
Wasn't too far from that, but he did give a really good line where he looked straight into the camera at Bret Hart, and he said, "When the bell rings, I never met you, and I don't even know you," and that was just like a fucking yes, go and get him. Yeah. And that brings us.
Oh boy.
To the Bret Hart promo.
So let's say I had a sister and you married her, Matt, and you just happen to be a professional wrestler, and I don't know, for the fuck of it, let's pretend your name is Death Demon. So, I'm gonna, hey Death Demon, what's going on, man? You married this guy, married my sister. No, I'm gonna call you by your real fucking name because it's a personal angle.
Exactly. You've introduced the sister already, the sister/wife. You've introduced the personal angle that they're of the same family. Right, the Bulldog married into it, but still. You've done all that. You've built this up as a little family feud in the main event. And what do you give Bret Hart to say in an interview? You give him the line over and over again of calling his brother-in-law British Bulldog. Why not Davey Boy Smith?
When Mean Gene Okerlund 20 seconds ago, just got done saying the name Davey Boy Smith. Vince McMahon says the name Davey Boy Smith in a Bulldog match more than he actually says British Bulldog, for one.
Exactly. And you give
What's
Bret
the big deal, Bret? You're not
you give
breaking
Bret Hart-
kayfabe, brother. Your dad's not going to stretch you for killing the business. You can say Davey Boy. It's okay.
Exactly. And from Bret Hart, who was a really good into promo guy in 92 and that.
If you say, if you call him Davey Boy, I'm gonna stretch you down here.
Yeah, Stu isn't going to care. He didn't even... in 92, Stu Hart didn't even know what fucking state he was in. Province or whatever.
Exactly. So why not take the initiative? Take the fucking script you've been given and look at it and go, I wouldn't say that. You know? I'd say it to Bam Bam Bigelow. I'm not going to go out on television and call him Scott. You know? I'd say it to anyone else. Not me fucking... but I wouldn't say that to my brother-in-law. I wouldn't turn up at a family reunion and go, is a British Bulldog coming down for dinner? It just pissed me off.
It doesn't even have to be a personal angle. The fact that they're brother-in-laws. It could be just a match announced on Superstars. You would probably think he'd still call him Davey Boy because they're family.
Exactly.
You know? Ugh.
But I lost count of the times he called him British Bulldog.
So what you're saying is don't make a drinking game out of it unless you want alcohol poisoning. That's how many times he said British Bulldog.
Exactly. If you want to go to A&E, do a drinking game. But if not, I'd stay off the booze.
Yeah. Well, stay off the booze anyways, guys. Or moderation.
Yeah.
But let's get into, obviously, the best match, the most popular match from this. One of the most greatest matches of all time. Maybe a little overglorified, a little sloppy at some points, but still, I think it's a solid match. Can't argue with that.
But before that, we had the Balmoral Highlanders playing Scotland the Brave with Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper, one of his best moments as a babyface.
And the pop he got, it was on par with the Bulldog.
It was like Jesus Christ walked out in a kilt.
It was, but then
everyone was Christian.
I swear, in '92, people actually thought he was from Scotland.
It's Canadian. A lot of people don't know that.
Exactly, born in Canada, fucking Canadian accent. Just because you put a kilt on someone doesn't make them Scottish. But it was '92, Travis. It was a different era.
For some reason, Roddy Piper in this looked like and I know he was making movies at the time, but he came off as like a leading man in Hollywood. He had a look about him. I never really got this look from Piper, but in this bagpipe say he looked like a movie star. Something, this aura he has.
He had a glow.
You know what I'm talking about? You see that too?
Him.
Yeah.
I did. Like his face was pink. Like not fucking skin tone like you and me pink.
The Pink Piper.
His face was pink.
He was so happy to be there. God,
and
it showed. Like, it was the first time we saw Roddy in since he lost the IC belt.
I believe so, yeah. So what was that? A year?
No, a few months. WrestleMania 8, he lost. It was a few months.
That's right. Where's my history gone?
Well, we're talking about pink face Roddy looking like a movie star. It's easy to mix things up, but yeah, it's awesome. You agree. You saw that George Hamilton aura about him.
Yes, yeah.
Great segment. And honestly, to go back and watch that now, it might make me tear up because I miss.
Yeah, I'd have actually extended this and cut out Crush versus Repo Man. I enjoyed this 10 times more than I enjoyed that match. Oh, in fact, I'd have done away with Virgil and Nails as well. Make this a 15.
How dare you! Even the Virgil promo?
Even the Virgil promo with that awkward-looking hand gesture at the end, which just made me cringe.
But Matt, you got to want it, man!
I knew you were going to do that.
Let's get into it. The main event, Bret Hart and the British Bulldog. Main eventing on pay-per-view. First time ever IC title. Don't think it's been done since, correct?
No. But then there's been no call for it to be done since. If this SummerSlam had been in Madison Square Garden, Savage and the Warrior would have headlined this event.
Oh, yeah. By far. Bret, admittedly, in a lot of interviews, said he went to Vince and said, me and Bulldog had the greatest match of ever time. It sounds like Bret begged for Vince to make this a main event. Vince listened. He took a shot in the dark. I'm glad he did, because if this was flipped with much, I think this would be a much less memorable match and show. You know what I mean? The fact that the sun was down, it was main event. Lennox Lewis came to the ring. It just made it feel... The spectacle really is magic in this match. It's one of those feel-good moments in wrestling. Everything about it just feels like larger than life. You know what I'm saying?
And it's one of those rare wrestling matches where even before the bells ring, you get that big fight feel.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So if anyone listening to this hasn't watched it, and I can't imagine there's many people who haven't,
Yeah.
you need to watch this.
But manage your expectations, because like we said, it's not a perfect match. It's not a
Nope.
Flair Steamboat NWA class. It's a good match. Bret
It could have been better.
Davey Boy
had
Smith
Davey Boy not been out of it. Like, I remember Bret Hart saying, but the Bulldog was so out of it that he had to run through the match step by step with him because he'd forgotten what they were meant to do.
Yeah, like the word on the street, the whole backstory and that urban legend about Davey Boy going into this, he was really hyped. He was obviously the peak of his career at that time.
Mm-hmm.
He hurt himself right on a house show or training, so like his knee or his leg.
I believe that's a correct story, yeah.
And then obviously, unfortunately, we all know how Davey Boy medicated himself, and he wasn't in his right mind. He pulled a Kerry Von Erich for this match. Bret Hart literally saved his life on a spot. Randy Orton said remove a dive in this match, Matt. Now, let's not like analyze a piece, but like overall memories and the differences you've seen over time from now when you and I probably put this match up. Oh my God, it's one of the greatest ever, to now, hindsight 2020 as adults going back. What's changed for you about this match?
I think knowing the state of the Bulldog brings the match down in the present day. I know it's not a big thing to say. I mean, technically, it was really good. It still has that big fight feel about it for me. But knowing the state the Bulldog was in, that he wasn't really like with it, and Bret Hart had to basically carry him through it.
Yeah,
It's diminishes it slightly for me. But I'll still go out there and say possibly one of the greatest SummerSlam matches of all time.
I agree. I think the match Bret had with Perfect was better, just for me, personal taste. I think one of the things that changed this match for me a lot is what came out of it. Obviously, Bulldog went to WCW by early '93. He was gone.
Mm-hmm.
It would seem like this would have been, Davey Boy's push to the main event. That didn't happen, unfortunately.
No.
And I think that's what makes it
why.
kind of on a sour note to go back and watch it sometimes. For some reason, you would think that Diana was Tatanka's sister, considering on the jacket she was wearing. I've never understood that jacket. Tassels and Indian emblems, and Diana was something.
Yeah.
Where you gonna call Diana a whore?
Oh my God! But that's great match back and forth. This is one of those matches. I don't know about you. Like when I was a kid, I would like reenact a match while I was watching it on VHS over and over. I would always be Bret, and Michael from Slam Pigs, Little Michael, would be Davey Boy, or vice versa, or whatever. And we had this match memorized. Everything about it.
And that's a testament to it, I think, because you're not going to hate it if you go back and look at it. It's probably not going to live up to your present day matches, but then it's not always a bad thing.
As with most things, like classic golden era stuff, like you would have had to have been there to appreciate it, I guess, like we did.
Yeah.
We were in the thick of the things, guys, when this went down. To all you younger listeners and stuff, like our good buddy Rocky, I'm sure he wasn't around when this match went down.
Yeah.
But that's how it went off the air. Davey Boy Smith with a nice little beautiful roll-up wrestling maneuver out of nowhere. No finishing move in this match, no power slams. And it didn't make either guy look weak. Obviously, Bret Hart went on to way bigger and better things after this. Pretty much directly into a world title win, a month later in Saskatoon against Flair?
Just over a month later, October the 2nd, I think. But yeah, I can see why they didn't push the Bulldog into a main event position. It'd have been nice if he'd have just been given the chance, though.
Liability. Too big. Bret was more dependable. Even though Bret was late all the time, apparently, he was more dependable. He wasn't nursing injuries with prescription pills and just his promos where you could understand them. I don't know. But overall, Matt, what did you think of SummerSlam 92 to finally grade it after all these years, looking back, match-wise, everything into opinion on your grade for SummerSlam 92?
Nostalgia-wise, there's going to be two grades, I think. Nostalgia-wise, it's going to be an A for what it was, and you know what I mean? The history of it.
Oh, yeah. Same here.
In ring, C. Obviously, the main event and Savage and Warrior, and to an extent, the opening match saved it.
Virgil
apart from
Nails
them,
didn't make this a C+ in your book, huh?
No, I'm sorry, Travis. It just didn't. There was just a few things lacking in that match that.
You're too busy
Like-
praising a shitty tag team title run with the Natural Disasters instead of glorifying things you should, like Virgil's promos.
Jesus Christ.
That
The
just
Natural
happened.
Disasters were good, okay? For me, for 7-year-old me, they were good.
I feel like you got a big poster of them still. Like you're this secret diehard Natural Disasters fan.
Do you know what? I might still have some some memorabilia from that time
Oh god.
somewhere.
I'm gonna have to give this show, quite honestly, C-, borderline D+. Not for nostalgia, for just to go back and to grade it. Like I'm Dave Meltzer watching a show. Not a lot going on with this. This was primetime wrestling in England. Besides the main event and maybe Warrior and Savage. This was not good. This was not good. Nostalgia-wise, though, as bad as the show is as a whole, I could still put it in any day and watch it. Fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
background
The
noise.
nostalgia carries it through. Like, I don't know many other shows you're going to be willing to sit down and watch Crush versus Repo Man or matches of that caliber, but this show you are, and that's because that speaks a lot to how well it was received and like how fondly it's still looked upon today.
You know how like when you're like you and I are bullshit or like we're talking to our friends or something, and we talk about these years in wrestling, and we mention like you name any match, like you say Bastion Booger versus fucking Kamala, and you get a snicker. This whole show is full of snicker matches. Virgil and Nails, fucking Beverly Brothers.
it was.
You always get a like one of those. There's fucking snicker pay-per-view in the books, man. It's been a blast talking SummerSlam '92. I
It has.
do not know. I feel like I've been picking them, but if you, on top of your head, got any direction you want to go for next week's review, I got nothing, man. I'm blank for the first time. It's been a long week.
I think next week we should go No Mercy 99.
And Matt, that was SummerSlam '92. Man, one of the best early '90s WWF pay-per-views in my opinion, as far as memories. What can you say?
Yeah.
Next week, No Mercy '99. Well, that's what you picked. We're going back to the Attitude Era. Until then, guys, this has been Union Smack, episode 4. Thank all you guys for all the love, and tune around next week. Cheerio, mates!
Cheerio, mate.
Hey, you dirty fucking pigs. Mike here from the Slam Pigs Podcast, reminding you once again to check us out on Twitter, whether it be the Slam Pigs Podcast, whether it be me at Mike the Slam Pig, or whether it be our sister show, The Reset Button. Check us out. Also, you can find us on Facebook at the Slam Pigs Podcast or The Reset Button. And as always, make sure you check us out as a whole on Hibiki TMD. Until we see you next time,